Hey everybody, welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. My name's David and this is a Magic Review. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. Why are you here? Why are you here? You know why you're here. You're here because you want a magic review of the latest and the greatest, right? I review the latest and greatest. I am blessed to have magicians and magic houses send me products so that I can open it up and tell you exactly what your money gets you. Today is a download, nothing to open up. Nothing to open up. This is a download from D. Christopher and the good people down at the 1914. This is Trifecta by Simon Lipkin. What is Trifecta? Let's talk all about it. What do you want to know first? What do you want to know? Well, it's a download, right? It's a download. And basically, you are going to need billets, Sharpie marker, pocket dictionary, and some ESP cards. And that's it. That's all you're going to need. So that's your stuff. And if you don't have a pocket dictionary, I mean, any small softback dictionary would work, really. And you don't even have to do that. I mean, you really could use this as a small book too. It's a book test, but you could use a small novel too. It doesn't change the trick at all. He just likes using the pocket dictionary because then it implies any word, right? Any word in the English language could be chosen. And it's multi-language, so it doesn't have to be English. You could pick any pocket dictionary of your language too. I spent a lot of time talking about the items. So let's talk about the video and the tricks. The video is all shot in the 1914 dining room, right? With the wooden table and the objects on the wall. All the performances are done with D as the spectator. And Simon's very engaging to watch. He's a very funny guy. It's not dull, it's not drab. He talks to you, you feel like you're talking to a friend. It's entertaining to watch with D and the performances. The performances go fast. They're not these long, drawn out things. And then the explanations are just gonna be same environment, but Simon talking directly to the camera. You get plenty of shots, exactly what you need. So yeah, it's a fun video to watch. The first trick is called Word Heist. It's 20 minutes long, full, performance and explanation all together, 20 minutes. Word Heist is a book test for people that don't do a book test, or for people that don't like peaks. If you're that kind of person, they're like, man, I just never know when the off moment is to get the peak, and I always feel self-conscious, like everyone's looking at me, and I feel like there's too much heat on it. I've never really found a billet peak or a wallet peak that I really like. Simon's got your back. Simon's got your back. He's turned a book test and a peak into one thing. So the dictionary, book, whatever you want to use, flip through it. They can stop you on any page. There's no force. No force. If they want to go one page more or one page less, they can. They select a word that they can draw. Okay, so it's also a drawing duplication. So it's all the things. It's all the things. You give them a billet. You say, hey, write the word down. Right? Say it's a house. Right? Say write house, and then draw a picture of the house. Their billet gets put back into the stack, lost. And then you put the dictionary right on top of it, so it's covered up, like you can't see anything. They can put their hands on top of the dictionary, right? And then you are going to get your own billet and a pen. You'll divine the word and the drawing. Super easy. It's the easiest peak in the world. You got plenty of cover. No one's going to see your peak. No one's going to see your peak. And it's 100%. It's going to work every time. And again, no force. If somebody saw you do that once for somebody and they saw you do it 2 days later, it would be completely different, right? And you could use a different book if you wanted to. Yeah. So that Word Heist was a lot of fun. The second trick is called Post-it Prediction. Post-it Prediction, it's 25 minutes, performance and explanation. And in Post-it Prediction, kind of like it sounds, you start with just a random question, like, if I was going to if I could predict the future or I could read your mind, right, I would prove it with either information I reveal ahead of time or information I reveal at the end, right? And it doesn't always work, right? It doesn't always work. It's hit or miss. And so we'll, like for instance, if I was just to say, any 3-digit number, what would you pick? And they say 1, 2, 3, right? And you say, yeah, like how would I know that, right? I'd have to prove that in some way. So let's do a prediction with ESP cards. And you bring out ESP cards, all the 5, right? And you bring out your billet and you say, I'm going to write down my prediction. This is what I think you're going to pick. And you put it there on the table. And then they pick one. They just pick one of the ESP cards. And you pick up your billet, turn it around, and show that you got it right. Look at that. But then, as an extra kicker, you say, but wait, there was also the 3-digit number. And they're like, what? And you reach into your pocket, pull out a Post-it note that's folded, open it up, and the 3-digit number is on the Post-it note. Booyah. I know, you're like, how do you do that? Well, Post-it prediction works again with a little gimmick that you're gonna make. All 3 tricks have a little tweaky thing that you kind of have to build, but they're really easy. Not difficult at all. This one, you build one and it's good forever, okay? And you'll need the ESP cards and you'll need your folded Post-it note. I like the trick when he showed it and I was really excited to learn it. And it'll go just like I said, with one exception. You won't always hit on the ESP card. You won't always hit on the ESP card. And so that just becomes your prover. You just said, doesn't always work. It's not an exact science. Reading minds, predicting the future, you know, you should be wary of people that are right all the time because they're cheats, okay? I'm not afraid to get it wrong every now and then. And so let's say they pick something that you didn't predict and you turn it over and go, see, I said you'd pick the wavy lines and you didn't. So yeah, told you it doesn't always hit, but, you know, I made a prediction earlier, even before we sat down, and it's in my pocket. And then you pull it out and then do the 3-digit number. So I think both have the opportunity to have a really heightened build. And I think getting it wrong, you could say, oh, well, I don't want to get it wrong. Even other mentalists, we'll go watch Peter Turner. He'll tell you how strong it is, even when you get something wrong, because it only proves, right, that it's possible. Ooh, look, it's possible to get it right sometimes. And to get it right with a 3-digit number that they just randomly thought of is more impossible than a 1 in 5 guess, right? It's more impossible. So the actual trick part that's more impossible, that's the part you're going to get right. So that's Post-it prediction. And then there's another trick called many happy returns, which is to imply birthday, right? It's a 16-minute trick, explained, and you're going to have a stack of billets that have a person's name on the front, friends of yours, and on the back, their birth date. And you're going to say, you know, the average person probably knows 4 or 5 birthdays in their head, mentally. The rest, we all need something written down. I have all of my friends, all of my associates, I know everybody's birthday. He's going to give you a system so that when you go through the billets, you'll prove that no matter what name they pick, you will know the birthday that's written on the back. And it's not like, I thought it was a bank, right? I thought, oh, the top half of the deck is one date and the bottom half of the deck is another date, right? Easy, which he probably could have done, but he made it even more elaborate where every single card has a different date on the back and you will know how to reveal it. Plus, on top of that, you're going to have them write their birthday down and you'll reveal that too. So that is the 3 tricks you get on top of the intro and the outro, of course. So pocket space, I pretty much mentioned all the objects that you need. They're all things that you can carry in your pocket. Angles-wise and inspectability goes, I mean, like I said, there's some gimmicky things. There are some gimmicky things. But I don't think any of the things are going to be grabby things, right? Like the ESP cards, they're not gimmicked. They're not gimmicked in any way. But you do have some other things that are in play that probably couldn't be inspected. Slice and difficulty level, there are 2 card controls that he'll walk you through. One, probably best if you know how to control a card at the top, just saying. And the other one was the double undercut. So if you can do the double undercut, you can pretty much do everything on this project. Setup and reset, every single trick takes a little bit of setup, but once you've done the setup, you're done. And you could do the next trick faster and easier. The setup is a one-time thing. You know, you're just doing a little bit of build thing. So positives, I really enjoyed the project. I enjoyed all the tricks. I really enjoyed Simon as a teacher. I always like watching D interact in fun, playful ways. D presents himself as like this serious, like rocker mind reader, you know. And when you get to watch him play the spectator as just a more relaxed, fun person, then you see another side of him, and that's great. Plus, it's just the fact that it's, come on, it's 1914. Everything they put out is great. So I mean, they're killing it. So it's such a great little project, and for $31, you can't beat it as a price. Negatives. The only negatives that I had really, wow, I don't know. I mean, there was a couple times where I was like, oh, I got to build this. But then, once you watch it, then you're like, oh, I guess that's not that bad. When you realize like, oh, I got to build it once. I mean, and the other thing was, like the ESP prediction, I was like, oh, it's not 100%. Because the first time I saw him do it, I was like, oh, it's a multiple out, right? Oh yeah, it's a multiple out. They'll pick one of the objects and you'll pull a business card out and say, oh yeah, you picked the star or the square. It's not a multiple out. And you'll get it wrong. You'll get it wrong, often, probably. More times than not, you will get it wrong. And I was like, oh, do I really like that? Do I like the fact that you get it wrong? And I just had this kind of like, I don't know. Because at first I was like, oh, I'm totally doing this trick. And then I was like, I don't know. But then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, you know what? The second reveal is actually more amazing than the first. And the fact that you can say, you know what, I just made that one. Just try to predict the future on the fly. Like I was just trying to get a reading on you, and you know what? It's not an exact science. But earlier, before I even saw you, before we sat down, I wrote something in my pocket. And it was that random 3-digit number that they just rattled off the top of their head. Much more powerful, much more powerful. So